Hello everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. It's been roughly 3 weeks since you've seen me. I decided to have a little break. Mindy's been here whenever Mindy's here. You can usually guess when Mindy's here because I disappear for a few weeks. It's strange, despite the fact we're both YouTubers, we rarely appear or film together. So there's been some significant differences in the industry since I last spoke to you. One of them is obviously the Hawaii ban, which is sad, shame. I have no idea if that will be overturned or what will happen with that. I haven't done an awful lot of research on it. I've only just very quickly sort of read an article before I filmed this. But that's a shame. But the one that affects me most is Brexit. Now, whether you voted for Brexit or didn't vote for Brexit or didn't vote at all, there obviously are arguments on both sides. I don't want to get into those, but what I will say is that from my perspective and for the industry in general, I believe, well maybe not the industry, but for hobbyists in the UK in general, it's actually a sad day because as of the 1st of January, we lost access to some very good wholesalers in Europe. Because if I ordered corals from them on the 31st of December and they arrived on the 31st, we're all good. You know, I can order as much as I want. If I order corals from them and get them delivered on the 1st of January without CITES permits, I can go to prison. And because of all the red tape, I think it has made it very difficult for them to supply us. So whether that's good for the industry as a whole, I don't know. Obviously we have wholesalers over here. I just know many of the corals which I bought were from there, so it is a sad day. It's a sad day for hobbyists over here. So that's it. There have been a few changes in the Mega Build. Let me have a quick. I'll turn it around. Most of it, the corals are all the same, so that hasn't changed. There will be some continuity issues with this video. Some of this video was filmed 3 weeks ago, but through the magic of editing, I'll make it look like it's all in one day. For example, I'll show you the Dragon Soul favia, which I have fragged, and how I fragged it. Be warned, there's some dodgy camera angles. I didn't realise until after I'd filmed it that the camera wasn't, where it should be. But bear with me, and then going forward, I will try to do better next time because I have another favia to frag. So let me show you around. Right now, there are 3 big changes with the system since you last saw it. The first is that the second set of racks has arrived, which has allowed me to frag up a lot of the LPS corals. So all of these are now single heads, which makes them easier to sell. Most of them are actually sold. These have done unbelievably well on the website. It was like the amount of support that I've had from you guys with this business venture has been crazy. Now a lot of these are, as I said, they're sold. Some you can tell a lot of them have gone already. A lot of them are sold, but I'm keeping them for people for future, for when their tanks are ready for them. Or when they can come down and pick them up themselves, because obviously they cost a reasonable amount of money. There is more stuff on the website now, which is something I did over Christmas. I have added these to the website, which are the war corals which are fragged up. I'm surprised the blue ones haven't done anywhere near as well as I thought they would, considering the blue ones are my favourites. But each to their own. What I will say is, I'm not sure what the best approach with fragging corals is. So as you can see, a lot of the frags I do are actually much bigger than what you would normally see for a frag in say a fish shop. You can see, let's say normally you get a frag which is just literally the size of the plug, whereas you can see that's double the size of the plug. I'm not sure if it's better to make them less expensive but cut them smaller. So if you let me know in the comment section below what you think is better to do. The hammers, which were fragged in the last video, are here. As you can see, they've all come out nicely. Again, I've sold quite a few of those. The second biggest change is that a lot of the fish now have friends. So obviously there's Charlie. Charlie has a friend, which is a Pacific sailfin tang. Now, the fish that are in these systems are actually fish that were from the Red Sea tank. So I haven't actually got any new fish. These fish were all in the Red Sea tank. I will do an update on the Red Sea tank. I know you're desperate to get an update, and to be fair, it is due one. It's been a few months now since I've done it. Something I do want to point out in the videos is everyone wants to buy these. I get messages privately about these all the time. Now these are mine. The reason I have to keep 5 of them is because they sell so well that I need 5 of them so they reproduce fast enough to keep up with demand, and even then I can't keep up with the demand. So it's but it's as you can see, one of them is about to come off, so I will have one on the website soon. And then this is the section for the corals which I keep. You can see one of the Montipora is not doing very well, and then this Montipora is not doing well either. Now, for whatever reason, as I mentioned in the last video, most of the SPS is fine. Obviously you can see there's diatoms and everything in here. Most of the SPS is fine. Some of the SPS, which, for example, the Montipora, not the encrusting, it's fine, but any of the plating Montipora has not done very well for some reason, but it's just starting, it went completely white and you can see it's just starting to get its colour back. So that's why that's not on the website at the moment. You saw a little glimpse of the other new fish a minute ago. This is a powder blue tang, which I think I've had for about 5 or 6 years now. I've had her for quite a long time. She has been in the Red Sea tank for about 4 months, I think. And she's about a foot long, so she is way too big for the Red Sea tank. That's one of the reasons you haven't had an update, because the Red Sea tank has been used basically as a lot of it has been to store fish and corals, to which will eventually end up in here. So you can see she is an absolute beauty. She can be reasonably aggressive. The aggression isn't really too much of an issue because the only fish she's in there with, other than the wrasse, is one yellow tang, just for obviously grazing purposes, and they get on pretty well. I've not seen any chasing at all. What I will say is the diatoms, which has been the biggest issue with this system so far. I haven't had any pests, haven't had any weird algae or anything like that. The diatoms have been quite significant, but I've started to see little patches of green algae turn up, and that usually signals the end of the diatom bloom. The last new thing to show you is that I finally got this tank up and running. There's no new corals in it. All the corals which are in here were originally in this tray. When I moved the corals over, I moved the mushrooms in this box. So it's a funny story, because I moved it probably about 10 o'clock at night, and I didn't think anything of it, and then the next morning I found this fish, which you can't focus on. I found this wrasse was in this tank, when originally it was in this tank. So it took me probably 10 seconds to work out how it got in there, and then I realised it must have been in the box when I moved it over. So what I did was, because I want to have a wrasse in every tank, I then put the canary wrasse from the Red Sea tank in this one. So as I said, every tank is going to have a zebrasoma tang, and a cantharus tang, and a wrasse, which is now hiding, so I can't show you it. But you saw it a minute. Oh, there it is. So I don't currently have a zebrasoma tang for this tank. I'm not entirely sure what one I'm going to put in here. Probably will be maybe another, probably the Desjardins sailfin in this one. The Acanthus tang I've gone for, I can't actually pronounce. I know what it is. It's an unusual one. It's not showing off its proper colours at the moment. It's very dark because obviously it clearly doesn't like the camera, but it's got a really, really vibrant yellow fin. So yeah, that's it really for this system anyway. So what I'll do is I will show you fragging the Dragon Soul, which you probably saw a minute ago, but I'll show you, as I said, there is some continuity issues. So yeah, right now, as I said, this is a Dragon Soul favia, and it's not something which I fragged previously, which means that all the information I have is from watching other people on YouTube. So all you need to do to have exactly the same level of experience as I do right now to frag this coral is to watch a couple of YouTube videos. I know what you're meant to do is you're meant to cut around along the walls of each of the polyps and avoid cutting through any of the centres. And if you look around the edge where it's been cut previously, that's pretty much what they've done. How easy that is going to be to do, I don't know, but we are about to find out. Obviously, I won't be able to talk during this bit because it's too noisy. But I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. What could possibly go wrong? The reason I'm holding it out like this now is because the longer I leave it out of the water, it gives the coral time to draw all of its polyps back in. I want its polyps to be as tightly inside the skeleton as possible when I frag this, because that's the way you get the cleanest cut. So far it's been out of the water probably about 2-3 minutes. I'll probably give it another couple of minutes, and then I'll get to work. The final thing to mention while it's drawing its polyps in is I've got an iodine dip here. The reason I've got an iodine dip is because we will be cutting through flesh this time. And whenever you cut through flesh, there is always much higher risk than if you're just cutting through bone, especially with LPS corals. It's not too bad with SPS corals, but with LPS, I always use an iodine dip afterwards. One of the regrets I do have with this area is that I wish I had put a light here. Because if I had light here, I would have, and I probably will just get one like a temporary or one put on the wall, so I can see when fragging much easier. What I do at the moment is I have these radions on white and I have these ones on blue. And the reason they're on blue is because it makes the polyps stand out more. If I'm fragging something like the hammer coral that you saw in the previous video, then I have those ones on white as well. But yeah, so let's get started. Right, so it's been 5 minutes now, so this is probably as a retractor is going to get. So the next thing to do is start to plan where you're going to cut. Now, as I said a minute ago, I am very new to this type of coral, so I have no idea how easy this is going to go. It's reasonably thick, so it'll probably be quite a slow process. With the thinner corals like chalices, the saw goes straight through them. And so the best thing to do is plan out in advance where you can get some nice shapes from. I have no doubt there'll be people that will be able to cut out single polyps of this. I am not that skilled or that brave. It cost me quite a lot of money, this coral. So I'd rather do maybe 3 or 4 polyps at a time. And then I can't imagine that all of them are going to look pretty, but I will try my best. And then we have to, yeah, so let's see how it goes. Right now, I've only just realised that when the saw's on, it makes the camera vibrate too much. But as you can see, I am cutting. I found a line to cut down. And then obviously I'm going to cut this into smaller pieces, probably line, and then I'll cut these into 3, I'll cut these into 2 or 3 polyps where possible. I might try a single polyp just to see how it does, but while it's waiting, it's going to be sitting in the iodine dip as I continue to do each piece. And then as you can see here, this is exactly what happens when you don't plan your route properly. But what I'm not even sure you can see, but because I've had to like literally rest the camera up. But this is the one I'm going to try and turn into sort of single polyps. It's not too bad for a first try, but I think there's definitely room for improvement. And it's really important that you let the saw do the work. So you probably, I don't know if you can tell or not, I'm not pushing at all, really. It's just a very, very, very light push. And then I just let the saw essentially do the rest, and I just direct it. And then sometimes it's nice just to cut the bottom off, just so it looks a bit nicer on the plug, because no one wants a really, really thick base. And then this is the end result, and hopefully they should all survive. As you can see, they don't look very happy at the moment. There's a lot of mucus in there. I'll probably leave them in this iodine bath for maybe another 5-10 minutes. There was one there. This is it. There was one where I accidentally cut through the polyp, and there is definitely you can literally feel the difference on the saw when you go through the polyp. Obviously, it's much thinner. So you think to yourself, oh damn it, I've done something wrong. But I think that was the only one I did it on. Some of these are a bit of an odd shape, but this is the piece I'm going to keep for myself. So every piece that I import, what I'm doing is I'll frag off the main colony, and then I'll keep one piece for myself. Usually it's one where it's got an edge which will easily fit onto a frag tile. And then and obviously that allows me to grow it on for the future, while obviously all these will be sold to pay for the original piece. So although some of the corals I'm bringing in I am importing, this still is very much where possible. I plan to grow as much as I can. And through the power of editing, I can show you what they look like 3 weeks later. They did surprisingly well. I thought I might lose 1 or 2, or especially the one that I cut in half, but all of them have healed up. There are some missing because I've sold them. They are a surprisingly underrated coral, I would say. They're one of the, they're one that I certainly never appreciated until obviously I got it. And I love how when they heal around the edges start to turn green. So you can literally visually see them healing. So yeah, these are all good to go now, and yeah. Right, now that's pretty much it for today, guys, but there's one more thing that I wanted to show you, and that is that I am starting preparations to get this system up and running. Now, this system is much bigger. Well, not much bigger, it's about 50% bigger than this one. And because of that, that means there's going to be a significant increase of the electricity bill. Now, at the moment, I'm covering the electricity with this one, no problem at all. It's as I said, I'm overwhelmed by how much you guys support me, basically. But the biggest issue is, as I said, because Europe's closed, there's only a limited place which I can get coral from. So I have found new suppliers of coral in the UK to fill those gaps. But a lot of the suppliers here won't deal with me because I don't have an official shop. So despite the fact this room has cost more than the average shop, a lot of the wholesalers won't deal with me, which I understand. Look, they have to protect their existing customers, which are shops. So I have no animosity towards that at all. But it does mean that rather than just being able to drive down to many of the wholesalers the shops use, I don't have that privilege, which means there's no point me setting this up until I've got plenty of coral to go in it, because obviously I need to cover the running costs. What I will say is I am starting to look, and the reason I mention this is because I'm starting to look for new and interesting corals and things to grow. Monteporas, Sophastrias, things that are like I've got quite a lot of SPS already. I'm waiting for the acrates until this system is fully cycled and everything. But it's yeah, once this system's up and running, it will be crazy. So I look forward to it. I'm just, as I said, I've got some new suppliers which I'm going to test out in the near future. And then I just need to, yeah, so providing they do well, providing everything goes well, obviously we're getting new corals, so I've got them to sell to you, I'll get up and running. And then I'll have some very exciting new news for you. The other thing is that the floor is filthy at the moment, but I found someone who actually lives not very far away who keeps fish. And he's going to pop down and do a site survey to look at getting the floor done, so I can start getting some of the aesthetics done again as well. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm still a long way off breaking even. I think that it could take me a while to break even, but I'll be honest with you, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it because I'm doing something I love, and nothing will hold me back. It doesn't matter that I can't. It doesn't matter that the wholesalers in Europe, obviously, were a significant setback. Nothing will stop me from achieving my goal. So yeah, and obviously you are helping me achieve my goal. So I look forward to the day that, as I said, that this is my full-time job, and hopefully it will be soon. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. If you did enjoy it, why not click that like and subscribe button. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.